are excited that we're back. We're happy you can join us. And we are on our part two on our Four Sisters Live. And we are happy today because we are here to share some wonderful information. We have great guests telling you we're doing it here. I'm excited. Yeah. We're having some good people come through this show.
That's the only way we're going to do this thing, right?
Good women and men. But definitely the sisters are doing it big. Yes. And I love it. I think we really got a lot to exchange here.
Yeah.
Definitely. We got a lot of information. We, again, like we said earlier, we feed off of each other. We feed off of each other's information, your knowledge, your energy, your smiles. And we're healthy and we're looking to continue to stay wealthy.
That's right. That is so true.
Wealth is what we're striving so that we all be able to stay and do what we are
supposed to do.
Exactly. We're making it happen. So today is our topic. First Saturdays we deal with domestic violence, sexual assault, and abuse that we all don't like to talk about, but it's something we need to address. We are so many things. The women are out here unprotected. We talk about how is it even in the court system. How are the women being protected? And they're not women who are weak or anything. They just need a way out and some protection.
Right, exactly.
And so we need to talk about and address that. Is the court system, are they on our side? Are they helping us? Do they wait too late before something happens and they want to, the women are in danger? All of these things that we're dealing with, even with our men at the same time. You also understand that we have women out there that are abusive themselves. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
What happened in their lifestyle? What is their background? What happened that they have to launch out and want to be vindictive or do things that's going to even hurt their own children?
Yeah, exactly.
Something is mentally going on. Then we talk about the mental abuse. So all of these things we address here on Four Sisters Live, but we talk about it because we bring other women in, other men who can help us even further understand.
That is
This is an educating moment to teach and learn from someone else that can tell us, how did you make it out? I'm here today because of whatever that may be. I'm thanking God because I'm now here to tell it.
That's right.
So that I can help someone else. So we have so much that we can thank God for because we are able to share it. But I want to share this. Did you know? And then we can open it up and Peg and we can move forward. Did you know every 9 seconds a woman is assaulted or beaten somewhere in America? This is the Census Bureau. The numbers are escalating. They're really high. Even in Washington, D.C., I think they talk about the answer. The police themselves, I don't know, our brother in the audience could maybe talk about it for a sec, give us a number. I think it's up in the 3,000s or so. They get calls a lot on domestic situations.
Yes, there's thousands of calls daily, and there's a mandatory arrest in Washington, D.C., where if there's a call for domestic violence, someone has to be arrested for that.
Really? So that still exists?
And they do go to court the next day for that, so they are taking it very, very seriously.
Serious.
Definitely because it's repeat offenses. So there's a large number of repeat offenses on that.
Also, did you know every day in the U.S., 3 women are murdered by their husband or boyfriends? Those numbers are alarming.
And those numbers are real.
And sometimes it's the former partner, the ex-boyfriend sometimes. Because they're stalked. And we've seen some of these stories in the news. Yeah, so sometimes it's the ex-partner that is stalking, not the current partner.
So that goes back to talk about that mental. There's somebody, if I can't have you, no one else will kind of thing. And that's not, that's alarming to hear someone say that, and you can't take that lightly.
No.
If someone's telling me something, I love you just that much, really? I don't understand that conversation. I can't get that.
It's not that good, huh?
No, it's not that good, okay. But we do need to put a number out because we would be remiss if we didn't put a number out for anyone that don't know where to go. A lot of women say, where do I go? Who do I call? What do I do? I need to know who can hear me out because you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't even talk to their own parent.
No, they won't.
No,
own sister or sibling.
That's right.
About their problem.
That's right.
I know I did talk to my parents
really?
about it. I went through it in high school, so I never spoke to my parents about it. But you know, it followed me into adulthood, and what you focus on. What I was focusing on, I don't want a relationship like what I see. So I want something different. But what you're focusing on, it follows you. It follows you through adulthood until you deal with that thing. It's going to be there.
That's right.
So,
yeah. And you know, we were talking earlier. Oh, sorry.
No.
We were talking earlier before we came to the studio today that, you know, in our culture, there can be a lot of distrust of authorities for various reasons. So there are a lot of reasons that in the African American community, we're not reaching out for help. First of all, are you going to take our man? Are you going to take my man away? What's going to happen to me?
Take my money away.
Take my income, how I live, right?
Yeah.
But we don't trust the authorities, so we're hesitant to seek help from a helpline or to go and talk to someone who can at least just give us some therapy. So that's another, I think, is a huge barrier that we were talking about before we arrived. So
let me give the number out as I was speaking about is 800-799-7233. That's 800-799-7233, 24/7 hotline. You can call. It's a helpline. Maybe hotline because a lot of people trying to call.
Right.
But you'd be surprised you can't probably get through.
Yes.
But you know what I found out that through me doing some research, because I wanted to have some help during the time of my production. While I'm coming unglued here. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. During the time when I was putting the production together, and I wanted to reach out to nonprofit organizations, which were domestic violence organizations. And I found out that a lot of them say they don't even have finances. They don't have funding.
Right.
They're not backed by. They get very little funding.
Rely a lot on volunteers.
So and a lot of them were almost about to shut their doors.
Yeah.
Because the shelter, they could not continue to keep their door. I felt that so sad that we can find money for everything else, but we cannot get the funding that is needed to keep safety.
Right.
For the women.
Keep these women safe
Keep their families
because
safe.
women don't want to be separated from their children.
Right, exactly.
You know, they want their children.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to have them, and there are not enough shelters for them, and then the shelters that are there
are not
adequate.
Right. Yeah. Because they don't have the funding.
Because they don't have the funding. And it's a sad thing because we were trying to get them to invite them to come out and be a part of what we need or bring some literature. And they was like, we don't have any way to even to fund.
To even get them printed. Yeah,
right.
To print it.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I just thought
they
that
rely a lot on volunteers too.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
Even the helpline, the hotlines, those helplines, they're staffed by volunteers.
Volunteers.
Well, we just got right into it. I want to introduce our panel, I guess, because I mean that's how you have to do it sometimes. But we want to definitely know who is engaging with us today. So we want to start here with this pretty, lovely dark chocolate lady, and let everyone know who you are, what are you doing, and what's going on with you.
My name is Jatonia Eatman.
Put the mic up to you, Mom.
Jatonia Eatman, and I have my hair care line?
Yeah, yes.
Oh well, my hair care line is Cherokee Hair Products. It's all natural. This is my hair. This is not extensions. My background is cosmetology and massage therapy. So when you touch base on back with you, I was talking about, it takes leaders. There's many followers, but it takes leaders. That's why we need to come together. Together we are stronger. We come together.
Say that again.
We come together. We are stronger. So when shelters don't have this, and many of the shelters are, dirty, and they don't have things that, if you don't have things that you need every day, it sets your mind starts to go crazy, and you don't have the right food. I'm sure they're not having kale salads in shelters. So if you're eating foods that are not giving you that energy and giving you that nutrients that you need, it all connects. Food connects with your brain. It connects how you function, how you talk. So it takes leaders, good hair products that have essential oils and spices and lavender and tea tree and rosemary will we actually eat and put on our foods. So you have to connect all of it. So
Go
Good
ahead.
education.
That's right.
We have to still look good. We don't have to look like what we're going through.
That's true.
So we want to stay
That's
beautiful in everything, in every
That's
way.
right.
That's how we continue to keep ourselves healthy and youthful and carry on and to overcome. That you're keeping
Exactly.
yourself beautiful. Peggy, who else do we have with us?
Well, these are members of Sisters for Sisters Network.
Yes.
So, you know, what we try to do is have the continuation of the conversation always be part of our membership, members of the organization. So, just so happened that we're talking about domestic violence, and these two young ladies, I call them young, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
They like that. They like that.
are part of Sisters for Sisters Network. And for those who don't know, Wyoming and I are part of the organization Domestic Violence Project or Committee. And so we're on it. And so when we found out, when y'all guys came on board, that this is what you were doing,
Wow.
looking at how can you protect yourself
Oh, yes.
in a situation like this.
Yes.
So when Wanda came to me, I said, come on, bring it to the table because this is what we need. So I want to introduce Wanda, and I also want to introduce Charlie. Charlie, okay? Come on, introduce yourself and share with us what you're doing.
I am Wanda Washington. I am an independent damsel pro with Damsel in Defense, where we provide, our mission is definitely not to scare women into purchasing our products, but to let them know and share with them how they can protect themselves and their loved ones. And one of the great things that I love about these products is that they're non-lethal, because the lethal ones we can't come back from that.
Right.
So
right.
I want something that's going to maybe put someone down long enough, that will put someone down long enough so that I can go to get safe help.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily want them to put it back on me.
Right. Well, share with them the
Yes.
Product that you bought in.
So, so I wanted to let you know some of the statistics first, is that, and Wyoming said this as well, that, these are national statistics from the FBI, .gov, and there's 1 in 3 women experience domestic violence from their partners. And what we do, some of the things that we have a personal alarm, which is something an adult can carry, but it's also something that a child can carry on their backpack in case they're not able to speak. This can speak for you. It's 120 decibels, so it's loud. We have a striking distance tool,
I have one of those.
and we teach women about the striking points that they can use to put someone down. And then also we have the pepper spray, and it has 18% oleocapsicum red pepper, and that's like cayenne pepper. That's the hottest pepper that's out there.
Wow, yeah, absolutely.
This is just 5 ounces, but we also have one that's a hardcore, that's in this type of shell, and this is 8 ounces. I'm sorry. This is 8 ounces, and this is 5 ounces. And one thing that women don't know is that pepper spray expires.
Yeah,
So,
I heard that.
So what do you have, Charlie?
Well, actually, I want to say, if I can tag on with the pepper spray. So it expires.
Yes.
So if you've had your pepper spray out there, if you've had it for a year, you need to replace it. It's going to expire. It's not as effective. So please replace it. And if you've used it for any reason, you also want to replace it. So I just want to say that, okay? What I have, and this is kind of the heartbeat for me with this company, we have, Damsel in Defense has a complete line called Safe Hearts. These are storybooks. And who doesn't read to their kids or grandkids? I have 3 grandchildren, but these are beautifully illustrated storybooks. We have 12 of them now.
Really?
They're only $10, so they're super affordable, right? And we have a parent guide that you can also get. But these are books that are told in a story format to teach children and help them understand so that they can avoid predators by trusting their instincts. So remember back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, it was strangers, don't talk to strangers, stranger danger. Well, guess what? That one in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys that are sexually abused before the age of 17, okay? 1 in 4 and 1 in 6. Those are from people that they know. They're not strangers. And we know what we've heard in the news recently about the gymnastics physician who abused all those girls.
Yes.
Right? So we know. That's just one of the stories that we know where this is happening with people that they know. And so think about it. Even now as adults, when someone says something funny or off to us, we hesitate. Well, maybe they didn't mean it, or, oh, well, I don't want to cause a problem, or I don't want them to think I'm crazy. How much more if as adults we're doing that are our children?
Our children doing the same, exactly.
So this is a book that just addresses real scenarios that are happening, like the neighbor next door that lures you in with the puppy, and mom is okay with you being over there because, oh, that's just Mr. So-and-so, or, oh, that's Billy, the high school student. So these books look at those scenarios and teach children to trust their instincts and to not be afraid to speak up or get away.
Wonderful.
Instead of being talked into it. So
awesome.
These books are ideal for parents, grandparents. I love to get them into daycare providers, daycare centers, PTAs, because our children need this education.
Yeah,
and like I said,
do.
it comes with a parent guide, and it's taught in a non-scary way.
Right.
It's taught the way it actually happens, the way kids are groomed and things. So this is the way it actually happens, so a child can recognize that something's wrong when this is happening. So I love this. And I also want to say that I'm so proud to be a representative with Damsel in Defense, because 5% of everything they sell with Damsel goes, they donate it to organizations that educate and protect children. So I'm happy for that. This is a family-owned company, been around since 2011, based in Boise, Idaho. Based in Boise, Idaho. We're local, but and also there are some other products like our stun gun.
Yes.
So there are a few products that they have, and they have safety products as well, like flashlights and junk in the trunk kits to road safety. There's a lot of other products.
There's a lot of
but some particular products, 5% goes toward other organizations that protect women. We also have opened 2 houses where women are living and children who've been rescued from sex trafficking. So one is in Cambodia, and there's another one that just opened in India. So I originally started. I originally started with the company because I just thought, okay, I'm going to make a little bit of money, but I got so enrolled in this mission. So I'm just proud to be with the company.
So
we're going to take a break on, and then we're going to come back because we definitely have a lot more other conversations to talk, and I want to engage our other 2 guests about that as well. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. The VoxWave.com and the Lakeisha Brown Foundation is putting on a benefit concert on the Honesty, bringing awareness to domestic violence. We want to thank our big sponsor, which is Creative Bodies. We have DJ Drew who will be on the boat. We have Prima Songbird. We also have Oscar D, who's going to be doing some live performances. Plenty of food. It's a brunch from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, September 29th. We don't want you to miss early bird specials. Tickets are $115 early bird special. Please come to this event. Buy your tickets right now. It's Vox Wave, baby. Come to the event.
We're back. I am just excited about our guests because we're talking about protecting ourselves, and we have to learn how to use these tools too. It's like, how do you use this? But that's, I guess you got to take a class in that. But let's go to the call. Do we have anyone on the call?
Hello, Angela?
Yes, I'm Angela. How are you doing?
Hi, Angela. How are you?
I'm blessed today.
Thank you. And is Raquel with you as well?
Yes. Hi, ladies. I'm Raquel.
Wonderful. These two young ladies are not in the area. They're really calling in to join us in the conversation to talk about domestic violence. Raquel, share a little bit of your story or what you want us to know about your experience with domestic violence.
Well, as a kid, I experienced domestic violence in terms of a relationship that I had when I was a teenager in college. I dated a young man. We were together for a little over a year. And after a while, there were situations that presented itself. And, you know, things could get ugly. It started out as innocent things, or seemingly it was innocent. He would kind of say things that made me feel like he was somewhat jealous. He actually had told a couple of guys one time when we were at a party that, hey, that's my lady, you don't talk to her. If you talk to her, like, you're going to have to answer me. So that was one of the things that back then I was like, oh, you know, he loves me, you know, he's just a little protective, that's all. But when we had one particular situation where I had a friend of mine that I'd gone to see when I was at home, because I had things going on with my parents. There was a lot of things going on in terms of my home life at that point. So I'd gone to visit one of my friends who was coming to pick me up, you know, to make sure that I was okay. I had let him know about it, and he got really upset at that point. Matter of fact, that particular night, I had a refrigerator, like one of those mini fridges. A miniature fridge, and he hauled it from his room outside the door, and he chucked it into the yard. That was the first thing. Then later on that evening, I'd gone home. He went to my apartment, knocked on the door. My roommate answered and said I wasn't at home. He pushed past her, came in and snatched a coat that he had bought me. I was in my car at the time. So then he came, got in my car, and like he had grabbed me by my hair. So that was the first incident. After that, I still continued to date him because I didn't have a full understanding of what a healthy relationship really looks like.
Correct. Yeah.
I didn't have an understanding of that because of the things that I had kind of observed when I was younger. And my parents, they didn't fight with each other, but they would argue a lot. But I also come from a family where domestic violence, in terms of all of the women, every woman in my family, from myself to my cousins, have been touched in some form or fashion by domestic violence.
Wow. Yeah.
Either we've experienced it ourselves, or we've seen, our mothers go through it, or we've seen our aunts go through it. So it's cycles sometimes that you don't even realize that you're in. The young man that I was with, he had experienced domestic violence. He saw that between his mother, and the individuals that she was with. So that was a cycle for him. So, oftentimes you wind up in situations and relationships that are just a repeat of the things that you see.
Exactly. Exactly.
Who else do we have on the line with her?
Angela.
Angela.
Angela is calling from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Angela, thank you for joining us on the call.
You're welcome.
Is it my understanding that you're working on a book of your experience with domestic violence?
Yes. Actually, I'm working on a book about my experience with domestic violence and just things I've been through in my life. My book is called How to Live Without Dying, Surviving the Road Less Traveled.
Wow. Awesome.
I'm a survivor of domestic. Thank you. I'm a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault. I came from a small town, really small town, where everyone turned a blind eye to those types of things. And the man, my first husband, the man I married, I was 17 and he was 19 when we got married. And my turning point in that relationship, I went through a year of abuse and sexual abuse and being battered and threatened to my life to be taken. And he went to a point to where he beat me. He drugged me out of my friend's house, my school friend's house, and dragged me down the street and beat me in the middle of the street in front of everybody.
Wow.
And people just stood around and no one did anything. Like I said, they turned a blind eye to it. And I'll never forget that day. I had a concussion. The turning point was when I moved to Dallas. We moved to Dallas together after that. And what saved my life was I was on the way to a job interview. And before I left the house, I heard a song called How Can You Hurt the One You Love by Cheryl Pepsi Riley.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And that's the song I heard that day I was leaving for a job interview. And something just clicked in me. I said that I was tired because the day before, he took me out in the woods and had towels laid out, saying that these towels are for you for when I get done beating you for wiping up your blood. That's what these towels are out here for. And so I heard that song, and the next day I heard that song before I went on a job interview, and the man that saw me, that interviewed me, I just broke down. And I said, I need help. That was the first time I opened up to someone on the outside. And I said, I need help, and my life has been threatened, and I'm scared. And he made phone calls for me and had people pick me up, and I went to a battered women's shelter in Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
And I never saw that man after that. I never laid eyes on my ex-husband after that. He's been in prison for over 20 years.
Yes.
Wow. That's one awesome story, because a lot of women have many stories, because a lot of women, believe it or not, they have to still go to work.
Right. Yes.
We said that early, and they are having hell at home, but they have to go to work.
And a lot of people don't know because they're emotional and they have mental scars, but the scars aren't outside sometimes, so nobody sees it.
Right, exactly.
So it's there. They don't see it, but everyone sees the physical scars.
Right.
So they're covering them up. They can be covered.
Yeah, exactly.
With a little bit of makeup and eyeshadow.
And also for some women, what about my kids?
Yeah,
If
exactly.
they have children. I mean, it's not, oftentimes it's not just that one, the woman.
Well, see, what
She's got
happens with
children.
that, and talking about our children, when men are in a position with the women, they trying to get back at them, they grab the children.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is something that's so devastating for a woman to have to know that their child is abducted from a man who wants to get the attention and threaten you through the kids.
Through the kids, exactly.
Is there any military background that you know of women who really had to deal with Jennifer? Jennifer has some military background in that domestic area, because you couldn't talk about that stuff at one point.
Right. Actually, one of the stories, Jamaica, in the book, her husband, she was literally fighting for her life. She was giving her autistic son a bath. He heard the commotion in the hallway. He got out of the tub, and he didn't know what to do, but he's sitting at his mother's head as the father is literally choking her. So the father did not care that the son is witnessing this, and he just kept on yelling to his son, "Get back in the bathroom, get back in the bathroom." Jamaica, she was actually preparing for this. She started lifting weights and working out. She knew God was just telling her, you're going to have to fight for your life.
Right.
And so she started working out, losing some weight. He was drinking. She was able to get from under his grip. She ran. She knew that he wasn't going to, or she just felt that he wasn't going to do harm to the child, but she left out of the house to get to safety, went to the neighbor. So it's a tough judgment call when your life, sometimes you can't grab the baby.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So it's extremely difficult. So it does happen. And she was in the Navy as well.
Wow, I think that comes into play working out. I work out a lot, but you never know when you gotta run. Right. You never know when you have to do something real quick,
protect yourself,
unexpectedly. I like the key, the little that you have on the key. Yeah. I used to put my keys in the middle of my finger.
Right. Me too. I remember when they first started publicizing to do that.
Or walk out of the workplace with a pen in my hand. You know, to make sure.
You're able to do something.
Try going into somebody's eye with this. Okay, can you imagine?
It's blunt. I mean, it's really.
I love Damsel in Defense. I have them at every conference. Every conference. I have many of their items, even in the car and different things. They have a bracelet that's a weed bracelet that's a whistle.
Yes.
Really?
So I recommend Damsel in Defense for anybody. Their products are very supportive.
I do want to say something about the military, because I'm a veteran and I also work in that community now. And so there's I think maybe a misconception. So if there's a military service member that is the perpetrator of domestic violence, you don't have to report it to the military. They're subject to the law of the state that they're stationed in as well. And if you report it to the base and to the local authorities in most places, that's how it's going to be handled. And the military will intervene by that service member can be disciplined twice. There are some times where the city may turn it over, depending upon the location, to the base, depending upon the relationship that they have. But they're going to face penalties and punishment. Also, if they're living in base housing, and if there's a domestic call, they will remove the service member from the home and put them in the barracks, things like that. So just because you're in the military, military spouses shouldn't think that they have no control in this situation. When you're in the military, it's a smaller microcosm of society, and you're in a closed society, especially when you're stationed in those places where the base is in the middle of nowhere. You know, we're in the metropolitan D.C. area here, so it's a little different. But some of those bases that I've been stationed on, in the middle of nowhere,
way out in the boondocks.
Exactly. Even if you feel that his command, I shouldn't say he, because women do it as well. You shouldn't feel like the military is only going to support your spouse, or that you have no recourse. You can still go to the local authorities and report it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to touch base on that. My brother is retired from the military, and his wife, and I have a military background. But
there you go.
When you have them dealing with going to war, Iraq, my brother went to Desert Storm and all that, dealing with the aftermath, the PTSD. They can't sleep in a bed with their wives, you know, or if they go to sleep at night, they'll just have an incident and they might react to their wife.
Let's say
something
spouse,
that happened.
because women do it. Women in the military have the same problems. So spouse.
Yeah. So it's just getting on the military base and talking about you know this and seeing our faces there, you know, making the connection.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's a lot of help in the military community. All the bases have a family services where there are licensed, trained counselors to help. And then there are a lot of resources in the community. So, so the resources are there. It's whether or not we feel that we can go and talk to someone, whether
Many
or not we
times
feel
they are
that
underfunded.
Yeah.
And because I have a friend, she's a domestic violence advocate for Fleet and Family Support Center, and she is the only one for many bases. So domestic violence is underfunded and they're overworked. But you're absolutely right.
Yes.
The resources are there. But in the military.
Yeah. And then with the health, and this is another, it's an avenue, but how many outside therapists will take the TRICARE insurance that the military offers? So they can call through their health insurance and request to get mental health care out in the community. So that's another avenue.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah.
Pastor Darby, I wanted to switch a little bit about our young people, our youth, because I was given an earful by one of our youth who talked about how devastating it is out there now for our young people that's living in this abusive lifestyle, if you will, and homelessness. Can you speak to how you can, because that's your area that you deal with?
Right, it's definitely connected. There's a large percentage of youth that are homeless due to escaping their home situation. So there are youth that will couch surf or they'll live under in the train station before they stay at home in these abusive environments, because it's not just the spousal abuse, there's also the abuse on the children as well. If you're in the home with parents that are on drugs or substance abuse, alcoholism, then the children are also dealing with that type of environment. So they'll go, it's defined as homelessness if they're going to stay at a friend's house all week long, or the parents. There was a major media outlet let loose in D.C. with all of these young girls that were all of a sudden going missing. And it wasn't that all of the girls were just going missing. It was that these things were not reported. Children had not been home for months. And now when the legal system was coming down with truancy and stuff, it was like, oh, now we have to report that my daughter has not been home in 3 months. And so they're involved in sex trafficking. Over 60% of the girls who are homeless reported that they get paid for sex. And so they're involved in sex trafficking, but they're leaving. A lot of them, it's not just that they're outrageous teens, they're leaving abusive home situations or what they're witnessing in the home, mom bringing different boyfriends or, into the home and things like that. And they'd rather live on the streets than to be in that type of environment. So it's definitely all connected.
Which some of the men that the women are bringing are turning into
the daughters or to the sons.
Grooming them.
Oh,
or to the sons.
That's something. That's what she said, or to the sons.
I personally dated someone about 10 years ago who had been sexually abused by his mother's boyfriends when he was a child, when he was like 6, 7, 8, by 3 different boyfriends.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow, this is alarming in terms of how people experience on their own levels. The young ladies, what's their name?
Raquel.
And
Angela. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, great. Did you have a question?
No, I just want to make sure they're still on, because I want them to chime in if you all wanted to say something about any other experiences in any way, because I know it's everywhere.
Yeah, you're not
Domestic violence is everywhere. We know, we recognize it as awareness in October, but it's every month. And it's happening a lot every day. And it's just a lot going on. But no, I just wanted to make sure they were still on, Peggy, so they can talk.
What I wanted to do, I appreciate the fact that they even called in. And because of the fact that we were talking about the book, I like for them to get a copy.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we'll take care of you, but I'd like for Angela to get a copy, and also Raquel. I have your contact information, and I'll make sure you get a copy of Jennifer's Foxworthy book. Okay? And it is titled Tomorrow My Sunshine Will Come, Memoirs of Women Who Survived Domestic Violence. So I think this will be a good tool to help you start get you motivated to start working on your book, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
let's write a book. I want to ask, Jennifer, are you going to be in Detroit? Have you ever been in Detroit?
No, but I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to bring the conference there, or just to be hired, brought in to
do
speak.
something.
Yeah, I travel all over from California to
Pennsylvania, everywhere
you
from.
name it.
We can
I
help her take
travel.
you to Detroit, right?
Yeah, we're going to try to make it. You never know. We may can do
Let's do
something
it.
with the ladies being involved with connecting us with some people. You never know.
You never
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
I'm extremely flexible and open.
Oh, really? That's
Yes,
good.
I am proof that you can find unconditional love after. My husband, so the person that I experienced abuse, he was a boyfriend, so ex-boyfriend. But I have been happily married for 11 years to my husband, and he loves me unconditionally. And it's amazing to experience that. And we are showing our 7-year-old son what a healthy relationship looks like.
Yes.
But I knew before I entered that relationship with my husband, I had to work on me first.
There you go.
Because I didn't want to do him a disservice, and he had to work on himself
Exactly.
from the experience. And so our son is benefiting from mommy and daddy walking a Christian life, being healed, delivered, and just this morning he's cuddled in between us, and he does not know.
Not anything of the nature.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's
So
what
I
you
am
want.
proof
Yeah.
That I'm a thriver, survivor and thriver.
Nothing but
There you
love.
go.
And can be loved
There
the
you
way I
go.
need to be.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Well, this has been awesome today, Peggy. I'm telling you,
Thank you
always
so
time
much.
Yeah,
passes
thank
by.
y'all
but,
guys.
Pastor Darby, is there any information that you want to put out there for teenage homelessness, anything? Because there are a lot of our teenagers are suffering really, really bad, school-wise and otherwise in their community. So is there any information?
Yes. Well, two. One is the job that I work at, the school, Bright Beginnings. They're having mass enrollment for those homeless parents that have children under the age of 5. So we know that there are a lot of mid-age parents, but also younger parents that may have children under 5, and they can enroll in the school to make sure that regardless of what their child is dealing with during the week, with dealing with those issues of homelessness, they're prepared for kindergarten. And then also the church has partnered with Covenant House DC, which is a major organization that does very effective work in providing wraparound services to our youth.
Could you all benefit from this book she has? I don't
Yes,
know.
yes,
Okay, maybe y'all
yes,
can
I
talk
think that- yes.
from your
Yes.
organization.
That- yes.
Definitely. We have Jennifer Foxworthy book. We're promoting her book. We have a book for you ladies, so we make sure you get a signed autograph copy of the book, okay?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Is there any last parting words you all would like,
I'd just like
information?
To say, I'm Wanda Washington, Independent Damsel Pro. I live in Alexandria, Virginia, and where we can sell stun guns in Alexandria, Virginia. And my website is www.mydamselpro.net/to-save-her.
Spell that for them so they can
Okay, all
understand.
right. It's www.mydamsel pro.net net/2-save-her SAVEHER.
Awesome. Okay.
And I'm Charlie Yancey, Independent Damsel Pro. My website is www.protectu, the letter U, 2, the number 2, protectu2.com. And we also do warrior workshops where we teach you how to use some of these things.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
And awareness. We teach awareness as well. So, and it's free. We love to do it.
And we're looking forward to this.
Oh,
yeah. We're gonna do
and my
something with
website is
sisters.
www. No, I'm only kidding.
Well, I want to quickly ask, do you have a phone number right quick?
Yes.
Give them the phone number. They may push the phone number.
You can reach me at 521-403-1392.
Okay.
And to Raquel and to Angela, although you're not in the area, we must stay connected, okay? Because we want to, despite whatever, we can, with technology, we can definitely support you. You don't have to be in this area of the DMV, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your time and having me on. I
and we'll make sure we get the books to you.
Thank you so much.
With that being said, Peggy, I think we're done for the day. Woo! This has been a great day. We thank you. We thank our producers over there, our engineer Ron and Dante. And thank you so much for coming to join us.
Tony.
And yes, absolutely. And we love you for watching. We'll be here next Saturday. And you all continue to have a great day. You have anything to say, Peggy?
Enough but my sister, right?
Yeah,
always sister.
Always sister. Always sister. Let's rock. Here we go. Woo!
Let's stay real close. Stay real close.